Why do I always feel like I'm seeking protection? I guess it's because of him. Maybe if I remind myself, it will comfort me. Let's try. My father passed away 6 months ago in a gas leak explosion. He was of course the only one killed because he would always stay late after working hours to finish up all of his work. Even though he was always at work, he was always there for us when we needed him. He would do everything for us. He supported us since my mother didn't work. He was there every night. Every school concert me and my older brother Daniel were in. I could always count on him. After his death, my mother cried for the first week. And then one day, I expected to wake up to crying, but instead, she was up, dressed, and presentable. She had made breakfast for 3. And the chair my father always sat in was gone. So were all the pictures of him. I sat down in my usual spot. So did Daniel and my mother. She smiled at me, the smile I only saw when my father was around. I frowned at her, and she quickly told me to eat. Daniel shrugged at me and told me it'd be okay. But it wasn't. He was completely erased from my mother's memory, like he was never there. I guess that's how she copes with death, but I can't do that to him. Not to him. He was too special, too important to be forgotten. When you love someone, you don't just forget them. The very next day, my mother had found a job at a salon doing nails and pedicures. 3 months later, after his death, my mother started dating again. She met this man named John Smith. I hate him. He's the complete opposite of my father. My mother seems happy, though, so I guess I should be, too. School. People at school keep saying they're sorry for me, and all I can say is thanks. I think that is the only word I've spoken at school in the past 6 months. But now it's getting old, and people don't remember. And if they do, they stare and say that's the girl whose father died, so she's probably depressed and doesn't want to be bothered. My best friend Claire keeps asking me to hang out after school or go to the mall. And maybe I should, because I always used to. I used to be fun and happy and always up for something new. But not now. I guess I should talk about what I've seen. After my father died, I saw him by my bed, looking at me, with his, "Why did you do that? I thought I taught you better than that, Cassie" looks. I reached out for his hand, but then he disappeared. After that, I saw him looking out my window, looking at the direction of where the building exploded. Now I see him point at the empty space, and then look at me, like he wanted me to do something for him, find something. Then he would just vanish. Now they have cleaned up in the area where the building had exploded, and they decided to turn it into a park, and not even try to make a memorial for my father, because he wasn't that important to the world. But he was important in my world. I loved him, more than anyone ever would. Come in. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Danny. So what are you doing in here all by yourself? You know, the usual. Thinking of Dad. Oh. Listen, promise not to tell. This is gonna sound crazy, but I've seen him. What are you talking about? I've seen him as a ghost. A ghost? Cassie, are you feeling okay? I miss him too, but I'm not seeing ghosts. I knew I shouldn't have mentioned it. Cassie, please tell me. I want to help. I'll be leaving for college in a couple of months, then you'll be all alone here with Mom and John. And you know Mom doesn't want to talk about Dad. Why do you have to leave? You're the only one I still care about. Cassie, don't say that. You still love Mom. Why should I? She doesn't care about me, or you, or anybody anymore. All she can think of is John. I don't get what she sees in him. He isn't anything like Dad. He's the complete opposite. Cassie, she loves you. And the only reason she acts like this is to get Dad off her mind, because it hurts too much to think about him. Now, what were you saying about seeing Dad? I promise I will listen. I saw him pointing out my window at the empty space where the building used to be. Then he would look at me like I needed to do something, find something. But I don't know what. Oh, well, that is something. What's wrong, Danny? Do you know something? No, well, it's just you don't go around and see a ghost every day. I see him every day. For the past 6 months. I didn't know who to tell. I know I couldn't tell Mom, and I couldn't tell Claire because we haven't been that close lately. You were the best option. You always were. Well, do you want to see him? Well, of course. Always. That's why you see him then. Because you want to. Oh. Okay. It seems so real. We all miss him, and we all cope with it differently. I better get downstairs to help with dinner. John is coming over. Love you, sis. I love you too. I'll miss you. I don't know who I'll talk to when you're gone. I'll call every day. Promise? Promise. Hi, Daddy. I don't know what you want, Daddy. I just don't know.